All right. It's a perfect day for the title of this show, Reusse Unchained. Who's left on the Twins roster, Patrick?
I got a fairly good hint here. I can try to help you out with that a little bit, but this is true, by the way. It sounds like a spoof, but the Twins team bus did go from Cleveland to Toledo last night to pick up. I think 8 players were in on the bus, and then drove back to Cleveland. So it worked out well for them for transportation costs. Now I hear only 6 of the. Now I heard there were 8, and I got a list of names, but now I hear there's only 6 that are actually going to be on the active roster this evening. I don't know which. And then I also heard that there's going to be, they're only going to have 25 players tonight because Ober's going to be activated for Saturday. So he'll be there too, but as the starting pitcher. But let me see here. I'll give you a. This is what I heard. Okay. Miranda, which surprises me.
He's coming
Julian,
back.
Julian
Yep.
Fitzgerald, Austin Martin, Adams, Ole, a pitcher named Ramirez, and another pitcher named Arena, which I've never heard of either of those guys.
Jose Arena, yeah.
Yeah,
He's played with
but
3 teams this year.
but apparently Ole and Adams should have to stay down because they got optioned, right? Except somebody told me that in a trade is treated like an injury. So when injuries, when they make trades, then they can bring guys back when they're not in there 15 days. And now it sounds to me like they probably wouldn't activate this many infielders, would they? So maybe they would. I don't know. But anyway, that was what I heard. But I do love the fact that the bus went to Toledo to bring. Toledo used to be. I once actually, back when the Twins Farm Club was in Toledo, uh, and they were playing terrible. And Jack Blasey, who was one of their marketing guys, used to holler Toledo at a guy when he struck out or played poorly. And I once wrote a spoof for the St. Paul Dispatch about packing up, you know, about packing up to go to Toledo. And now it's a reality all these years later. It was the damnedest thing I've ever seen. And, I was the guy recommending unloading some guys, trading, getting rid of Duran and Jax and maybe a couple other guys. But why did they trade Louis Varlin? Explain that to me, Declan. Explain that to me.
Yeah. Falvey said yesterday on the call it was offers they could not refuse. They could
Uh,
not say no to those offers for Varlin specifically and Jack's getting a starting pitcher back in Taj Bradley.
and who, by the way, is not coming to the big leagues right now. They're gonna go to St. Paul and use their magic to fix him. Okay, so we'll see him in 2028, but when they use their magic to fix him. But then there's hot. The speculation now is the poll ads just told them to dump salary. So that's not assisting with the sale, is it? Does it tell us that the sale's being delayed and they just don't want to pay money anymore? What is it?
But what's the Varlin thing again? I'll go back to that. His
Yeah, he's not
salary
making
is
any money.
no, he's cheap.
You risk losing him, 2031.
Mm-hmm.
2031. He's got to be shocked, doesn't he? The
Oh
kid.
yeah.
It's I mean, when I kept reading the rumors that he would be one, I heard it like when the ESPN and the rest of them, MLB Network, go all crazy on this, and they were somebody Heyman or somebody was saying I had blah blah blah, pitcher 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 and Varland, and I said what, Varland? This was a couple of days ago, but I couldn't believe it. So we got Cole Sands now as he's the closer, right? And then,
Yeah.
Topa, he's your eighth inning guy. He's been so good. I don't know. He's your eighth inning
I
guy.
call him White Flag because every time he pitches, he waves
Yeah.
a white flag on
Well,
the mound.
he was the white flag. Now now he's the guy that's got to hold the lead in the 8th inning. So
Well, remember, Patrick, he didn't exist last year. He was a figure of imagination. We
yes,
never
right.
saw him, right?
Remember 4 days. He was active 4 days, right? He was
Yeah.
not. He has appeared from nowhere. So it's incredible. It was just the damn. Well, I kind of packed it in on it as deadline came, and I was doing something. We had some people here, and I
Yeah.
was having some. So I came back like a half hour deadline. Said, what? That was what Jackson Barlin both went in the last minute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we
And
were shocked.
oh God, it was incredible. But the Twins, I guess, are they're sticking to the Correa thing. I heard something, the Correa thing, that there was considerable happiness around when they finally got rid of him. The guy they traded, that lefty they traded for him, is a pretty interesting story. But it's first of all, it's Matt Mikulski, not the Matt Mikulski who's the producer on Garage Logic, but could be for all we know when we
Yes.
look at him. Because he was a short little fat guy for one time, but he's a number one draft choice. I mean, a second round draft choice out of Fordham. He was an All American, and I was trying to look up what injuries he's had to have a second round draft choice in A ball after starting in kind of rookie ball this year. I can't find any, so maybe this is it. So why did they bother to take the player?
I
Do
don't.
they have do what do you Declan? Do they have to take a player, or can you just cash? Can you just make a cash deal?
I think they had to. I think maybe they had to, but
Yeah,
it's
I
just a
don't know
body.
because it is and it's gospel that Jim Crane called and made it happen apparently.
Well, and so he called Jim Polad. Is
Jim
that
Polad. He called Jim Polad. He
he
did
called
not
Jim?
call Joe. He did not call Joe.
I was gonna say. So
No.
yeah, tell me he didn't call Joe Polad.
He called Jim Polad, and they negotiated the money.
So
So,
literally, the adults above Falvey decided to work this deal out and
yes,
told young Derek, "You're gonna."
yes, yes. Jim called him up and said, we got to. They wanted 50 apparently, or more than they
Yeah.
wanted half. They wanted half, right?
Yeah.
50. And he got them down to a third, basically. So 33 million, and then they had to take a body to go with it. But it's uh, Correa, and then of course Correa was his usual pompous self.
Yeah.
He was going to move to third base. Okay, Royce, you know who's standing over there at third base? A guy who's a better player than you are, Royce Lewis. But you're going to go over there. Then
Well,
where's Royce going to go?
and also when Correa goes to third, he devalues his contract
Oh
even more.
yes, yes he
Like the
does.
you're right, the pomposity of this guy,
Yes,
the arrogance of him. And then I loved so the athletic Ken Rosenthal had a good story today, Pat, about like sort of the play-by-play of the trade, right? And he got
yeah,
access to people.
yeah,
Do you know what Correa's camp said? They said that Correa, after the game, after the Griffin Jacks thing on Wednesday, went to Jacks and said, "Let's go into Rocco's
yes.
office."
You
Like
told me that.
it was his idea of how to be the mediator in this.
Yeah,
What a
that's
jackass!
well. And Carlos, I got one hint for you. Your strength is being a terrific defensive shortstop. That's
Correct.
it. That arm of yours at shortstop and the plays you can make at shortstop, that's your strength. You're
Correct.
not, a guy with your OPS at third base is a detriment. But oh man, he'll love those ovations he's getting back in Houston, though, won't he?
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
He was you could tell from the first time you talked to him that he was a phony, but he was a kind of a smooth. He was not an offensive phony like
Right.
some guys are. Sometimes he'd stand there and have serious, decent conversations at the locker and stuff. And but now people are bashing him forever, bringing him back. Well, they they made a $200 million offer knowing it wasn't going to work, right? And then all of a sudden, Boris says, "We'll take it," because they
Yeah.
had no choice. So
Yes.
I wonder what Boris's involvement was in this. Probably none, because it was just Carlos saying, "Get me back there." So
Yeah.
Carlos's home is down there, right?
Yeah, and
Yes.
I
He
guess
still lives there.
his parents are there as well, or his wife's parents. So, and no state income taxes.
Okay, he'll love it down there, but it will be interesting. I think tonight's viewership on Twins TV, whoever that is going to be record, don't you? It's going to be the highest ever, just to see who the hell's playing, right?
This feels very Mets Stadium era to me.
Okay. Oh God, yes, Calvin, Calvin got Tom Bradansky when he
Yeah,
unloaded.
yeah.
Calvin got Ron Davis, who wasn't always awful. Ron Davis was a valuable piece when he got him from the Yankees, and he kind of became a celebrity blower of games in Twins
He got
history. But
Gagney too
yeah, that's right.
from
He
the
got
Yankees.
yeah, he got some. Yeah, that's right. I forgot he got Gagney. These guys are. Did they get anybody? I don't know. They the the 19-year-old catcher looks like the uh, the guy. And when's the 19-year-old catcher going to make it? Uh, so you know who should feel bad? Big Chubby Vasquez. That they took everybody we had. They took everybody we had. And nobody wanted you,
He
Christian.
didn't get asked to prom. He's the only one who didn't get
Yeah,
asked to
yeah,
prom.
he did.
The Sadie Hawkins dance, he got left out.
They sent out a picture of him on the internet with a for sale sign above his head. Nobody take him. So poor Christian.
Oh
And
God.
but we want him to help develop those. What if they're worried about Taj Bradley and needing development? Why don't they send Christian over to St. Paul to work with him or something?
How empty is Target Field going to be for the rest of the season?
Ooh. And who we gonna boo? I mean, because there's no Pohlads to boo. They're not there. Rocco had nothing to do with this. You know who I'm comparing Rocco to? Lou Brown.
From Major League, I like it.
Lou Brown, yeah. He's Lou Brown
So
right
is there a
there.
picture of the Polad of Jim or Joe, like a
Yeah.
picture with some clothes on, and they rip them off after they
Yeah, it was
Lou
just
Brown.
crazy. I mean, I was in favor of making intelligent trades at the deadline, but I thought there might be three. I didn't. I will say I didn't think they had a chance to get rid of Correa. Did you? I didn't think they
No.
did. But you knew. I always said if they want to get rid of him, they're going to have to pay at least half, and so they didn't have they thanks to the owner Crane, who must like to play golf with him or something.
He loves him.
Crane, by the way, much more worried about his golf course in Jupiter than he is the Astros. But he has, he's got the open book. So, I mean, as far as the checkbook's concerned, and they've been a fantastic franchise and pack it in. And but this really does. I think we can catch the White Sox now, don't you?
I looked at it last night. It's going to be hard, but but I do think
I
that they
think it's
could
possible.
vie for it. Yeah, I'd
Oh
love to see
yeah,
them catch the
I
White
mean,
Sox.
so how many they got left? 50.
54?
50, is it?
54ish?
Something like that, yeah.
So
Yeah.
was yesterday 1/8? Because that'd be 1/3 left. So, they finished their worst ever was 19-50 in 2011. They finished 19-50 when they
Yeah.
were trying, by the way. And
Yeah.
and I what if they got 54 left? They might win a third of them, maybe if they're lucky. 18-36.
Well, and
They
I mean the bullpen alone, right? Like
oh
they'll probably take leads at times into the sixth or seventh, and it'll just blow up.
well, yeah, because the whole game now is having three or four guys in a bullpen. If you get the 5 innings, and having three or four guys in a
Yeah.
bullpen, that'll shut you down. And you'd much rather face the starters than most major league bullpens. So yeah, it's phenomenal. How many? But boy, this was heaven for baseball, right? This is what Manfred and all the boys wanted the trading deadline to be, just chaos, right? And
Yes.
like the NHL,
Yep.
Not necessarily the NFL, but the NBA does quite a bit. But it was NHL like yesterday. It was everybody was what? How many trades they end up with? 24 or something like that. I know Bobby Nightingale, does a great job, and he's got his newsletter, which has got more information on something than actually gets. You got to get that through email, which is stupid. But he lists the 11 prospects in order of what they have to offer with a little bio on it, and it's good. It gives me because I don't think most of us could keep track of the 11 names, right? I
Right.
mean, how was it?
Pat, to your point about the record over the next 55 plus games or whatever it is, they got to play Detroit 6 times, the Yankees 6 times, the Padres 3 times. By the time they play Philly to wrap up the regular season, the Phillies might have wrapped up seeding and divisional. But I mean, they're playing
And
playoff teams for the
and
next
most
2
of
months.
those good series are on the road too, right?
Yeah.
I doubt the home schedule is pretty lousy. I looked after, but yeah, they might average 15 the rest of the year when they pad it a little bit, right? I don't know. It is but go ahead, go to the ball. One of my favorite nights ever at Met Stadium was Bert Blyleven's last game, and Bert gives the finger to Calvin in the press box, except Calvin was in Orlando with watching the minor league team. He wasn't there, so you can go. You can go to the ballpark, ladies and gentlemen, for the last third of the season and scream at the Poleads, but they aren't going to be there. They're going to be. They're not. They're not going to be there. So you'll be yelling. The only people you'll be yelling at is the poor collection of players who had to stay. So anyway,
Who
how
is
about
going? Yeah.
is Toby Gardner have the worst job in baseball? Has he got the worst job in
It's
baseball?
it's either Toby or traveling secretary Mike Herman,
Yes,
who
that's true.
today
Yeah.
must have one of the worst jobs in all of the
Yes.
country.
First of all, you have to get all the passports in line for your next flight.
Yeah.
Where are they coming back home or are they going someplace after Cleveland?
Detroit.
Oh, they go to Detroit. So you can
Detroit.
take the bus. They take the bus from Detroit, so that'll be easy. So the bus that went back to Toledo and now comes back to Cleveland could go back to Detroit, right? So that'll be the Tigers have to be. But it's just you'd think you'd like to think there's a plan here that you're trying to be like the Tigers and build, rip it down and build it back up, but they didn't get enough in return for that to be logical. This is just ripping it down. That's all this is.
Yeah. So what you heard is that the Poleads basically came to Falvey and said, "Strip it down."
Well, that's what Nightingale's reporting at, and some other people are that he said get rid of payroll.
Okay.
Get rid of payroll, and but that doesn't explain Louis Varland.
Correct.
That doesn't.
Correct.
What are we worried about? What he's going to be making 4 years from now? I don't know. It doesn't explain a lot of it, but it did. Well, how much payroll? Well, Bader was 6.5. Was it six and a
Yeah.
half?
Well, and the
And
rentals, I mean, we talked about that. That makes sense. The
yeah,
Correa one does not offend me because I think he might be cooked.
no, but the bullpen was.
But yeah, the bullpen, you
The
just
strength, the
blew it
strength of
up.
your team was the bullpen. The strength of your team, and you got rid of all of them.
Well, and all of them were team controlled. That's what surprised me.
Yes, yeah. Well, it's you know, I don't think 13-1 had anything to do with it, but if they had any second thoughts, watching
Yeah.
that thing on Wednesday night might have been unbelievable. It'll be. How about Falvey's line of BS yesterday on the on the Zoom call or whatever it
Dexter's
is.
on. Yep.
I missed it. But he was trying to tell us these were baseball trades. He didn't have the guts to say that about the Correa trade, did he?
No,
I
not
know
really.
soft pedaled that one
No,
since.
he said from from his mouth. He said that we never initiated any of this. This was all from the Astros, and he credited Jim Crane and who's the GM, Bob, or the Astros GM. He credited the Astros side, basically, for initiating the entire thing.
So they admitted that basically
Dana Brown.
Twins admitted that Crane made the trade then. So okay, well that's good. They didn't lie about everything yesterday, so that's okay. But yeah, I mean, this is what we all revolted when Calvin ripped her down at the start of the first season in the Metrodome. Calvin was a genius of player acquisition compared to this.
Yeah, this was incredible.
This is like 5 different Scott Erickson for Scott Klingenbeck trades, isn't it? I mean, that's what it is here, right? So
I mean, I guess I don't know. They acquired a 16-year-old, Pat. I can't tell you much about a 16-year-old.
Yes, yeah, Nightingale had a
Perhaps
good
he can
line.
drive.
He says he's doing well, but he's also a high school sophomore, you know, age-wise. So
He's got acne.
High school sophomores have a tendency to either get a lot better, a lot worse, or stay right the same, which ain't good enough. So,
yeah,
anyway.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
All right.
All right, sir. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Pat.
Goodbye. Bye.
All right, Reusse Unchained here on SKOR North.